Welcome back to Buy or Buy. 655 horsepower dual motor AWD, 111 kilowatt hour Ultium battery, 303-mile range, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Hand built at GM's Tech Center, 100 to 150 units per year from $340,000. The 2024-2026 Cadillac Celestiq is GM's bid to take on Rolls-Royce, and the verdict isn't simple. Section 1. Who this car is actually for. Okay, let's dive into this, because the cross-shopping happening at this altitude, it is absolutely wild. We are starting right at the top of the automotive food chain here, talking directly to the ultra-luxury sedan collector. See, a buyer with a $340,000 to $450,000 budget who's ready to commission a literal bespoke masterpiece, they're just looking at other Cadillacs. No way. They are actively weighing this American EV against absolute titans of industry. We're talking the Rolls-Royce Spectre, which sits around that $420,000 to $450,000 mark, or maybe a Rolls-Royce Ghost. They're eyeing the Bentley Flying Spur in the $250,000 to $350,000 range, or anticipating the upcoming Bentley EV. Heck, they might even be looking at a Mercedes Maybach S-Class, a BMW i7, or something just ridiculously fast, like the $249,000 Lucid Air Sapphire with its insane 1,200 horsepower, or even a Tesla Model S Plaid. That right there? That is the cutthroat arena Cadillac is stepping into. So you really have to ask yourself a tough question. As a buyer at this elite level, are you willing to accept a 303-mile range, a 200-kilowatt DC fast charge rate, and, let's face it, the inevitable 2024 launch reliability uncertainty? If the answer is yes, it's probably because you're happily trading those standard EV specs for something entirely different. You're after unlimited customization, ultra-low volume scarcity, and a direct spiritual lineage to the legendary 1957 Eldorado Brougham. This whole project is literally about positioning Cadillac as the true Rolls-Royce of EVs. It's a hyper-specific value proposition for sure, destined for a very specific type of garage. Bottom line, this is for the collector who values American hand-built exclusivity above all else. Section 2. Where it shines. Let's be fair, Cadillac has brought some serious, undisputed wins to the table here. First off, the bespoke production thesis is uniquely American. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly how they achieved it. GM threw a massive $81 million investment into this project. Under the skin, it's rocking an advanced aluminum space frame wrapped in a sleek carbon fiber body. But you know what's even cooler? There are over 100 3D printed components on this vehicle. We're talking stainless steel, aluminum, and titanium parts crafted with absolute precision. Customers can pick from 4 design inspiration themes or, just go entirely off script with unlimited customization. It's totally up to you. And then there's the extreme scarcity factor. Cadillac is only planning to build roughly 100 to 150 of these units per year. Plus, the Heritage Flex here is honestly incredible. The Celestiq is the very first production car to be built at the GM Global Technical Center in Warren, Michigan since 1956. It's completely hand-built with no more than 6 vehicles in assembly at any given time. Beyond the build process, the interior tech suite is just a massive, overwhelming flex. I mean, just picture sitting behind a staggering 55-inch pillar-to-pillar HD display. And the audio isn't just loud, it's a 38-speaker Dolby Atmos system that literally turns the cabin into a concert hall. You're cruising under a 4-quadrant smart glass roof featuring suspended particle devices, which means each passenger can individually dim their own section of the glass. Pretty sweet, right? Throw in digital micromirror headlamps projecting 1.3 million pixels per side, a 5-link air suspension with magnetorheological dampers, active rear-wheel steering, and standard Super Cruise. It's basically an all-out assault on the senses, designed to prove that the American manufacturing can absolutely still do ultimate luxury. Bottom line, it is a technological and bespoke powerhouse. Section 3. Where it disappoints. Okay, let's drop the marketing speak for a second and look at 3 highly concerning realities of this ultra-luxury EV. First up, the range and charging speeds. They're competitive, sure, but they absolutely are not class-leading. A 303-mile EPA range is fine, but when the $249,000 Lucid Air Sapphire gives you 427 miles of range along with 1,200 horsepower, yeah, fine doesn't really cut it. Furthermore, the Celestiq's 200-kilowatt DC fast charging rate is actually slower than GM's own Ultium pickup trucks. Those can pull 350 kilowatts. Look, if you're spending north of $350,000, you probably should be charging slower than a Chevy Silverado EV. Second concern, and this is a big one,
unestablished long-term reliability. We are looking at a 2024 launch on the Ultium platform, meaning you are taking on some massive first-generation risks because the long-term data just isn't there yet. There's the known Ultium 12-volt auxiliary battery drain issue, which is a $200 to $400 headache if it leaves you stranded. Then you've got widespread Ultium infotainment software bugs and refinement needs. What about the durability of those 100-plus 3D printed parts? Unproven. Or the strict periodic fluid service required to keep that massive 111 kilowatt-hour battery cool? Even that incredible smart glass roof carries a risk. If an SPD module fails, you're instantly tied to a specialized dealer. And of course, early reports on these hand-built lines almost always point to panel gap consistency variations during the learning curve.
So the crucial point is the brand cachet deficit. Let's just be brutally honest here. Cadillac's flagship lineage has been severely damaged by decades of badge engineering. Sharing the Ultium BEV3 platform with the Cadillac Lyriq, the Blazer EV, and the Escalade IQ drastically diminishes the bespoke exclusivity of the Celestiq. You're going head-to-head against Rolls-Royce and Bentley, brands with uninterrupted generations of bespoke heritage advantage. And we all know how unforgiving the depreciation curve on ultra-luxury EVs can be. You really have to ask yourself what badge you actually want on your hood at this price point. Bottom line, you are paying Rolls-Royce money to beta test a badge with Apache heritage.
Section 4. The numbers that matter.
Let's strip away all the emotion and look at the objective hard data. The starting MSRP is $340,000. But keep in mind, with the level of heavy bespoke customization expected on this car, that number routinely pushes the final fully optioned out the door price well past the $400,000 mark. And this brilliantly illustrates the mechanical foundation you're buying into. You're getting the GM BV3 Ultium platform with an aluminum spaceframe and carbon fiber body. It's pushing 655 horsepower and 646 pound-feet of torque through a single-speed automatic dual-motor AWD system. It houses a 111 kilowatt-hour battery, yielding that 303-mile EPA range. And despite its massive size, it'll still launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a brisk 3.7 to 3.8 seconds. U.S. production officially commenced in 2024. And again, these are hand-built at the GM Global Tech Center, capped at a very scarce 100 to 150 units a year. First deliveries are tracking for June 2025, and you are backed by an 8-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty. The numbers paint a picture of an incredible luxury object, but with electric vehicle stats that are honestly just par for the course. Bottom line, the financials are hyper-exclusive, even if the EV specs are just adequate.
Section 5. Verdict. Maybe.
It is definitely not a clean sweep, and I'll tell you exactly why my stance lands squarely in the middle. It's a maybe to commission this car only if the allure of American-built ultra-luxury EV exclusivity, that true 1957 Eldorado Brougham spiritual successor, is your absolute ultimate priority. If the prestige of owning the first production car built at the GM Tech Center since the 50s, combined with that epic 55-inch display and 38-speaker Dolby Atmos, matters more to you than waiting for established, long-term reliability data, if you don't mind the wait times and you want that extreme, unlimited bespoke customization, it's a maybe.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because it is a hard buy if range, 350 kilowatt charging speed, and proven bulletproof heritage matter more to you. Seriously, if you want 427 miles of range, you buy the Lucid Air Sapphire. If you want absolute, unquestioned brand prestige without the first-generation platform risks, you opt for the Rolls-Royce Spectre or you wait for the upcoming Bentley EV. Sometimes waiting until 2027 or 2028 for the reliability data to settle is simply the smarter play. It all comes down to what you are trying to prove with a $500,000 purchase. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought. As we move into this new era of electrification, does American bespoke EV exclusivity matter more to you than proven, century-old Rolls-Royce heritage? Think about it, and we'll see you next time.